that spells Rotary.
Everybody, anyway. What I wanted to really focus the most on is talking about the theme here. Well, I never can, there we go, the Rotary Opens Opportunities theme. I will talk a little bit about what's going on in the district, but as you can imagine, what's going on in the district is pretty low key this year with the shutdown. But I think that the bigger issue is the Rotary Opens Opportunities theme. That was a theme that I first heard in January this year. Every January, they bring all the district governors from around the world together to get training and to meet people. And it's called the International Assembly, just a great thing. And it's that meeting that the Rotary International president unveils his theme. And when he said Rotary Opens Opportunities, Holger Kanak, who's our president right now from Germany, when he announced that theme, I thought, well, that seems like a pretty appropriate theme for Rotary, because I know in my own life, it's opened, Rotary has opened lots of opportunities. I'm a CPA, and I guess I would say I'm the epitome of a CPA. I'm, one of those very introverted people that's very happy sitting alone in a room all day, working on tax returns and people's numbers and things like that. But Rotary gave me the opportunity to kind of get out of my comfort zone and get out of my office and go meet other people. So I got to meet the other people in our club, and which has really been great for me. I'm kind of the old guy in our club. Most of the people in our club are in their 30s or so. I'm old enough to be the father or grandfather for pretty much everybody in our club, and it's given me the opportunity to meet other people from other clubs. There's several people in this club, like Dennis and Vicky, and that I've met over time, Phyllis. And so that's been great to be able to get out and meet other people that way too. Plus then the people that we met in the community through our projects. And our club, we do a lot of projects with school children and with the homeless population in town and with low-income senior citizens. And so Rotary has given me the opportunity to really expand my horizons and get to meet other people. And plus, the international trips I've been on. I've been to India, I've been to Peru, I've been to Mexico several times, been to Liberia. So lots of international travel through Rotary too. So just to me, Rotary does give you opportunities to really kind of expand your horizon, to meet other people, and to do some meaningful things in our community and around the world that we wouldn't normally do. Then not long after I got back from this meeting, then the COVID pandemic hit and the shutdowns hit in March, and we found out how completely appropriate this Rotary Opens Opportunity theme is for this time, because now everything has changed. So everything that we were doing a year ago has been thrown out the window, and we really have to reinvent ourselves, kind of like what David was talking about with the Red Ribbon program, about how disappointed he is they can't do the live version of that, but you're still going to do something. And so now I think we have an opportunity in our clubs to really look hard at our club brand. And you might say, well, what is our club brand? And that's a great question, because your club brand is what West Covina Rotary, when somebody hears West Covina Rotary, what does that mean to them? So somebody in the community, somebody that's a prospective member, somebody that's already a member of your club, what do they think of when they hear West Covina Rotary? And so we have an opportunity now with this COVID to really think about what we mean to our communities and what we mean to our members about what our club is going to do. So you've told me this today about some of the great programs you've got, and that Red Ribbon program sounds fantastic. It sounds very meaningful and very life-changing. And then the Hands Across the Border project, you also talked about that Jose's been leading. So those are great projects, but I'd ask you as a club to give some thought to, and you've probably done this, hopefully, but to give some thought to what is our place in the West Covina community now, if this pandemic and these shutdowns seem like they're going to be with us for a while now, what's our Rotary Club's place in the West Covina community? And what do we need to do to recalibrate our efforts from the past to be more relevant to the community today. And like I said, what we did last year isn't necessarily what the community needs this year. And so I think that's a big challenge for our clubs to say, well, we've had some long time projects that we've done and we're very invested in, but we have to ask ourselves, are those the projects that we need to be doing now? How do we take something like this Red Ribbon project that's been very meaningful to a lot of people and make it relevant in a non-contact, socially distant world? It's a big challenge, but I think it's the major challenge that our clubs find right now. And I hear a lot, you know, as I visited all the clubs in our district and I talked to other, the district governors from the surrounding districts, we hear a lot about what the different Rotary clubs are doing to kind of change their focus and be more relevant. But that's what people are looking for now. People are looking for other people that are making a difference. And I think that's a great way to attract new members and also to help more people in the community is by doing that, by saying, we're going to do this. This is going to be what people are going to know our club for. And so give that some thought. I think it's going to take a lot of planning and it's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to be, you know, taking, you know, maybe letting loose of some things that your club has done for a long time. So that's a challenge, I'd say. Another opportunity that we had now through Rotary is this personal opportunity. I mentioned a little bit at the beginning the opportunities I've had, but now I'm asking the Rotarians in our clubs to take this new found situation we're in and take a little bit of an introspection. And this applies to the seasoned members, you know, like Ken or Phyllis that's been around for a long time. And it also applies to our new members, you know, the 5 people that we have in your club that are moving from the red badge, new member status, to the blue badge, I guess, confirmed member status. So that this is something that all of us need to think about. And that's, what is our Rotary why? Why did we join Rotary? What is it that we're looking for from our Rotary experience? My concern is that a lot of times we join Rotary looking for something and then we don't necessarily find it. And so we end up kind of fading away over time. As Dennis mentioned, I joined our Rotary Club, I think it's 23 years ago now. And when I joined, Rotary had 1.2 million members. And I don't know, Ken, you might know how many members Rotary had when you started, but it probably was 1.2 million. Today, Rotary.
It was about 8,600.
Well, I think it was more than 8,600. I don't think you started quite that long ago. You didn't know Paul Harris personally, I'm hoping. But so today, Rotary has 1.2 million members. Well, in that intervening time, you know, the 25 years roughly that I've been in Rotary, about 2.5 million people have joined and 2.5 million people have left Rotary. And what that tells me is people are joining our club looking for something and they're not finding it. So I think the challenge to everyone that joins Rotary is make sure that you know what your Rotary why is and make sure you're finding that. And that means don't be a passive participant. That means you need to actively look at finding that experience you're looking for. And if you're not finding it, you need to go to Dennis, you need to go to the board, you need to go to Jose, and say, you know, I joined West Covina Rotary because I thought we were going to be doing this. And I'm not feeling like we're doing much of that. And how can I get that experience I'm looking for? And they're going to help you find that. And so it's really important to not be passive, to be proactive and go out and find those. And like I said, it applies to all of us. So even the people that have been around Rotary for a long time, if we don't have those periodic Rotary moments where something really catches us by the heart and says, this is why I joined Rotary, because I know today I changed lives. And in Rotary, we get that opportunity to have that experience. If we don't refill our tank periodically and have those new Rotary moments and really make sure that we're finding our own Rotary whys, over time, we're going to say, well, you know, this was fun once, but it's no longer fun anymore. So that's a challenge for everybody. And it's a big challenge, and it might be hard for the newer members that are just joining the club to speak up and say that. My guess is that you can do that because I think that you can be invested in your own future in Rotary. But then that also, to me, when we join a Rotary club, there's a contract that's formed between us as the individual Rotarian and that Rotary club. Because when we join, I think the club has an obligation to help us find our Rotary why. And so that's something I'm asking every club to do. And so I'm asking the West Covina Club to do this too. You've only got 29 members, and I think 29 members, it's something that's manageable. But what I'm asking is that for your club to know and understand what the Rotary why is for every member of your club. And make it a point to make sure those people are getting the chance to find that Rotary why. You know, maybe it's a community service project. You know, maybe they really want to work with school-age children. Maybe they really want to work with this project you have in Mexico. They want to do more foreign projects, international projects. Maybe what the Rotary why is, they joined because they wanted to make friends. So a lot of people join Rotary just for the fellowship aspect of Rotary. People join Rotary for the business networking. You know, a young professional might join Rotary hoping to expand their network and expand their business. And that's the way Rotary started. Rotary started as basically a networking organization. And so I think that in Rotary right now, we've got a little bit away from that. In some clubs, they discourage talking so much about our businesses. But I think that's an important part of Rotary, is talking about our businesses. The people that I want to do business with are people that I've met through my Rotary Club, that I've built a friendship up with and trust with. So I'm asking clubs, take the time to find out why everybody is in your club. You know, maybe you have to split it up into groups and form, you know, 3 or 4 groups in your club, and those groups can do that. But I think if you do, I think you're going to find the key to member engagement. You're going to find that you're going to meet that need that person had when they joined your club, and you're going to have a more satisfied and a fulfilled, engaged member and long-term member. And that's really what we want. We want people to kind of find their life's calling in Rotary and kind of stay forever. So pretty important. Another opportunity we've had this year in Rotary is the opportunities we get through our Rotary Foundation. To me, the best part of Rotary has always been our Rotary Foundation. That's because when you look at the mission of the Rotary Foundation, the mission of our Rotary Foundation is to advance understanding, goodwill, and peace. We think of the Rotary Foundation as being an organization that helps us fund our projects, you know, to help build a water well, to help build a computer lab in Mexico, to help vaccinate children from a disease. But the projects are all just a means to an end. And that end is we want to create understanding between different peoples, different cultures, different, even within our own communities, to help bridge those gaps. And when you think about it, that's the thing I think that we need the most right now, is we need more understanding. We need more peace between different people groups. And if we have that, I think we're going to go a long way. So to me, that's the thing that we need to be looking for through our foundation. We need to be still looking for that chance to have that connection between different groups. That's so important. And so that's why I'm asking everybody to support our Rotary Foundation. To me, it's my charity of choice. A long time ago, I kind of weaned down the list of charities I was donating to. You know, I used to donate to everybody that asked me for $100. I'd send them off a check. And I realized how inefficient that was for me and for them. So now I really focus my giving to really where it's primarily Rotary, because I just know the good that we're doing through there. Another function of the Rotary Foundation that we need to talk about is our effort to eradicate polio. I'm not sure if the new members are totally on board with that yet. May not be something they're hearing much about now because it's a little bit in suspension right now. But back in 1985, Rotary took it on itself to get rid of the disease of polio in the world. And that's something that I think we can be really proud of as Rotarians, is we're part of an organization that had that much far seeing that they thought they could get rid of a disease. So it was Rotarians that went to the World Health Organization and said, we've done vaccination projects around the world, mostly in the Philippines at that time was where most of them were organized. We've done vaccination projects around the world, and we think that we can get rid of a disease. And so we've been working since 1985 now. So for 35 years, we've been working towards this goal. And we're at the point now where when we started, there was 350,000 cases a year. And this year, there's about 100 cases from the wild polio vaccine. And those cases are all basically located in the Afghanistan-Pakistan area. There's a border area between Afghanistan and Pakistan where that's really the last hot spot for the wild polio virus. And so I think that's something that we're all part of and something we can be proud of. To me, if you were to write a history of humanity, the effort to eradicate polio would get an entry in that history, because I think it's such a meaningful thing for us as people. So thank you for being a part of that, and just don't take your eyes off of that, because as I said, what they did is this year they did suspend it because they couldn't do the normal house-to-house vaccination program they'd been doing in the past. And so they stopped doing national immunization days during the worst of the pandemic. But I see now those are going again. One thing they did is they used that infrastructure where it existed in the countries we were doing the immunizations to kind of be a COVID fighting infrastructure, because we have lots and lots of data about the families that live in these countries in Africa and these countries in Southeast Asia mostly. And so when I went to India, I've been a couple times for National Immunization Days, or what we call NIDS. When I went the second time, I was paired with a World Health Organization person, and he had a binder for his sector of the town he was in. In that binder, he had a list of every family in that sector, how many children they had, how many they're tracking 8 different diseases, how many of those diseases they've been immunized against. And so it's a really huge effort. And so we could use that to help this year with COVID. So I think that was pretty good too. For the district, as far as, Dennis has asked me to kind of talk a little bit about what the district is doing this year. And unfortunately, it's, we've had to kind of pull ourselves back, kind of the same way your club has. And where David was talking about how it breaks his heart that you've had to kind of really scale back the Red Ribbon program. We've had to do that too. We've canceled our teen leadership camp. That should have been going the first week of December. That's where we take 8th graders up to a camp up in the mountains and teach them leadership skills for a weekend. We still have RYLA, which is our Rotary Youth Leadership Exchange Program, or Leader Awards Program, RYLA. That happens in March. Right now, we're still hoping that we can go forward with that, but honestly, I'm a little doubtful that it will happen. I just think that taking a bunch of kids up into a mountain and putting, if anybody's ever been up to our camps, we put these kids in these barrack buildings, and there's just no good way to social distance. These would be high school juniors, and high school juniors are very social animals, and so they're not going to be able to social distance themselves either. So we're just really concerned that we're going to be able to do that or not. And so most things we're doing are virtual, as Dennis pointed out, and we're doing monthly presence calls virtually. We also do monthly webcasts where we've talked about, we've had a sex trafficking awareness webcast, we've had polio webcast, we've had membership webcast. The next webcast we have is going to be in November, where we're going to have a member of our Rotary Foundation staff, Jeff Cochran from Evanston, is going to talk to us about our annual program fund and what it's doing. And so we tried to do a lot of virtual education sessions. Our Rotary Leadership Institute, which is a training session for Rotarians, it's typically a morning session. We're going to do that virtually too. District conference right now, I still don't know what that's going to be. That's March 22nd. It's scheduled to be in the Antelope Valley at Antelope Valley College, but right now that college isn't open, and I don't think it's going to reopen in the spring either. And so we're going to have to kind of figure out if we're going to be able to meet live there. as you guys know, everything is different now, and so we're having to kind of recalibrate our efforts, just like I asked your club to. I did want to recognize the new members that we've got here. I got a list here from Dennis, and I think 4 of them were here. John Klena, Meredith Perry, Joe Prestella, and David Rynkiewicz. David had to leave. He said he had something going on in the community he had to go help with. So I'd like to thank those 4 people, and also Ryan DeErico. Thank you for joining Rotary, and thank you for getting through the Red Badge program that West Covina has. I don't quite know all the steps there, but I've seen Red Badge programs in other clubs where I think there's kind of a list of things to do. So thank you for sticking through and becoming regular members. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause, everybody. Now, Dennis, I can't remember. You told me, have you got are there new blue badges to them yet? And
No.
No, our blue badges stay in a box.
oh, okay. So that people don't take them home.
Yeah.
So if you ever get to meet again, you'll have a blue badge in the box there, then, right?
Yep. They'll have a special spot in the box.
Super, super.
But they had to go through a rigorous, brutal 9-step program to get to a blue badge. So
well, thank you for going that rigorous, brutal 9-step program.
Yeah.
I imagine it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But
I heard it's like being a Navy SEAL. Is that?
We've had Navy SEALs complain, so be careful.
Well, thank you, because for the new members, I'm so happy you've joined us. I really do think that we're making a difference in the world. And sometime it would be an interesting exercise for you in West Covina just to kind of sit back and reflect on how many lives you've touched through your programs. You know, the things you're doing in the community, the things you're doing internationally, that's really special. And the average person doesn't have a chance to really change that many lives, but we're really doing that. And it makes me very proud to be a Rotarian. When I think about the children's lives we've affected, the homeless people's lives we've affected, it's immeasurable. So thank you for joining a club, and thank you for wanting to participate in that. And I know this club's got to be stronger from the 5 of you joining and becoming regular members like that. So at this point, I don't know if I've got any time left. Maybe I've overstepped my welcome, but if there's any questions, if we've got time, I could answer some questions.
We've got a few minutes.
Sure. Oh, and one thing I should do is I should also recognize Drexel. Drexel is one of our assistant governors this year. He's one of the first people I thought of when I thought about somebody that could be a leader for our club groups. Drexel has a long history of helping at the district level in our district. I really appreciate him for that. And he has a lot of wise counsel and a lot of good ideas. So thank you, Drexel, for stepping in and helping with that. So, questions?
I have a comment to make
Sure, Ken.
about one of the excellent suggestions that you've given us during your talk.
Mm-hmm.
The why. What really captured my attention was the why of people joining our club, and dogs too. But people joining our club. In my 31 years in Rotary, I have seen the same numbers almost year after year, about 1.2 million in Rotary worldwide, 1.3 million, something like that. But you threw out a couple of additional numbers. 2.5 million people came into Rotary. 2.5 million people left. Those that left, a lot of them were not dedicated. We didn't dedicate those people. And that's what we need to concentrate more on and focus on the why. So I really appreciate your comments.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. I really hope the club takes that to heart, because I think it'll make us a stronger club if we do that.
I know, Vicki, you had your hand up, so I'll speak after you, Vicki, because I see you're very anxious to speak, so go ahead, dear.
A few little things. Greg, you mentioned that Ryla, and do we already have a reservation for a camp? Because I know that those camps,
so
we do have a
well, we have a reservation, but the camp's not open right now.
Right.
So that's why we had to cancel TLC. Like I say, TLC would have been in about 5 weeks from now. And so we knew we had to cancel that because the camp has not even opened. Because
Okay.
they've got the issue of they don't know how they can keep their camp sanitized and
course.
ensure the social. If you guys have been up there, it's at Grass Valley Lake or Green Valley Lake, I guess it is, up kind of right next to
Green Valley.
Up on the way to Big Bear. What's the town you get to when you go up to Big Bear? Running Springs. It's right outside of Running Springs, up in the mountains by Big Bear.
Crest Crestline up there?
Yeah, up in that area. And so it's a Christian camp there that we've been going to. We do have a reservation for March, but when you see the meal hall, people are shoulder to shoulder all through that meal hall. And those barracks they live in, they're pretty nice, but I think it's like 16 bunks in each barracks. I just don't know how they can handle it, and so we're still hopeful, but it's just so hard. The thing we are still going to do is we still are going to do the 4-way speech contest, and we're still going to do the danced over music contest, and also we're going to do the Hensel ethics contest. So those 3 contests we can still do. And those are all for our newer members. Those are all for high school kids. The speech contest typically has a $5,000 scholarship as the first prize for the district winner. And those are high school kids. They could be freshmen through seniors, and just it's really an experience to hear those speeches. I think, those kids are really good. And then the music, I could never be a judge of that music contest. The kids are so good. And how do you differentiate? So those 3 things are still going forward. We'll have more information out to the clubs about that.
Okay. My second thing, the conference at the end of the year. Are you planning on having a physical conference?
Well, right now I am, but like I said, the venue is Antelope Valley College, and the date is May 22nd. And they have just a really, really nice performance center there. And it's in Lancaster. And the reason I chose Lancaster, because it doesn't sound very exotic, but Lancaster, if you know, we added those clubs to our district about 6 years ago. And I thought it'd be a great chance for the people in our district to kind of see what the Antelope Valley was like. And we had some great social activities scheduled. But right now, Antelope Valley College is closed. And my understanding is they're going to be closed for the spring too. And so we're going to have to think about can we still do our conference even if they're closed? Will they let us into the performance center? Or do I need to do a different venue? And then the question is, how do you look forward, whatever that is, 8 months, and say, what will the situation be like then? Will we still be, doing the social distancing? Will people be hesitant to come to a big meeting like that? So right now, I hope it's going to go, Vicki, but I honestly can't predict what the world's going to be like 8 months from now. It seems like it changes so quickly.
Yeah.
So because I thought you were talking when you mentioned the May 22nd, I thought you were talking about the assembly. So are you combining assembly and district conference then?
Well, that had been the plan. Betsy, who's our incoming district governor, Betsy Berry from the Upland Club, is the incoming district governor. And I think that has been her plan to do the district assembly. And that's what our plan was this year. But this year we canceled the conference altogether, the assembly and the district conference. So I can't speak for her, but my guess is the assembly will probably be virtual. I know her pets. Did you say Jose is the incoming president?
Yeah.
So pets for Jose will be virtual. Where in the past, anybody that's been a president, typically we've been going to the LAX Marriott and meeting live. And this year it's all going to be online, and it's starting up, I think next week is their first session they're going to have. Well,
that's no fun.
No.
There's no nothing.
Yeah, and so the best part of that was meeting everybody. You know,
Yeah.
it was the interaction, the networking you had, and meeting people from other clubs and sharing ideas with other clubs. And they're going to try to facilitate that, you know, through breakout rooms, through Zoom and all that, but it won't be the same.
No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what we, you know, because we have basically, there would be, I don't know, 800 people there. And there's no way you could keep 800 people, you know, socially distant.
Yolanda, did you have something?
Wait, I
Yeah,
have one
Yolanda.
No,
more thing.
Vicky, you can't have any more, Vicky. You've taken a lot of time. It's already like 1:17.
One
Sorry.
more.
Hurry
Okay.
up, Vicky. Hurry
Okay.
up. You're
Okay.
hogging up the time.
Just a comment, Greg. I wanted to let you know that, you know, I talk to Charlie every once in a while, and he really thinks highly of you.
Well, thank you for saying that. I think highly of him too.
Yeah.
That line about making Rotary my charity of choice, that's Charlie's line. I stole that from him.
That's okay.
That's right. But I told him I stole it from him, and he said it was okay.
Good.
Okay, Yolanda, last question.
I don't know if you recall, Greg, you were on a Rotary meeting when we had Thomas on the call and talking about the social justice
Yes.
advocate. Did anything materialize with that? Because one of the
We
things.
did have, yeah, we did have I'm sorry to interrupt. We did have a meeting in September, was about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We had Sylvia Whitlock, who I think you all know Sylvia. She just did a wonderful program about the need for inclusion in our clubs. And so that was recorded. And I'll see if I don't know if we got that posted on the website. I'll make sure it gets posted. But first look at that. There's also Rotary International is doing a series of webinars about diversity, equity, and inclusion for Rotary clubs. And the first session's already happened, and the next session is in November. And I can't quite remember the date. I know I'm registered for it, but
Okay, and those are on the district
so
website?
we are moving forward, but yeah, so that'll be on the district website.
Okay.
We'll put the registration information on there.
So,
And then
so
the Sylvia's talk we'll put on there too. I hadn't posted it yet because I needed to edit it down just to Sylvia, because it had like another 30 minutes of Q&A kind of stuff beforehand, and I just wanted it to be Sylvia.
Mhm.
Go
So
ahead. Oh, I'm
Rotary
sorry, go ahead.
International is still very dedicated to this issue,
Right,
I guess, in
right.
terms of moving
And
forward.
That's
Okay.
right. And then at the Peace Conference, we have a speaker on diversity, equity, inclusion, Eugene Whitlock, who happens to be Sylvia's son, who is at Cal Berkeley and is one of the people in their diversity, equity, and inclusion office there. I don't remember what they call that office specifically, but that will be one of the topics Saturday morning.
Okay,
So
okay. Thank you.
I got it tagged.
you're welcome.
All right, I think it's time to.
Dennis, I think back to you.
I'm gonna take it over regardless. So
There you go.
let's go to the four-way test. First, is it the truth?
Is it the
The
truth?
truth.
Second,
Is it
Is
fair
it
to all?
fair to all
At all
concerned.
concerned.
Third,
Will it build better
Build
friends?
friendships.
better friendships. And fourth,
Will it
Will
be
be
beneficial?
beneficial to all concerned. And fifth,
Is it
Is
fun?
it-
is it fun? All right. Thanks for
Thank you,
coming,
everybody.
Greg. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you
Greg.
guys
Thank you
too.
for spending time.
Okay,
Bye.
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your presentation.
Welcome new members and new blood, blue badgers. Boy, say that 3 times. Bye.
Bye.
R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is one great family, where friendship lies for men.